This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
This
Just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam in for Jeff. Happy Friday. Baby reindeer style?
It crossed over.
Yeah.
It totally did.
Totally did.
Okay, Tori.
Have a good weekend, yeah.
I kind of like that crossover. I'm going to start requesting it.
I
just
think you should.
FYI.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, happy Friday to everybody. Unfortunately, we do begin with some sad news today. The world has lost a comedy legend. Bob Newhart has passed away after a series of short illnesses. He was 94. Bob launched his career as a stand-up comedian in the late 50s and 60s and became known for his deadpan comedic style. He made his mark on TV starring in the Bob Newhart Show with his TV wife, Suzanne Plachette, and then later in the 80s, he starred as a mild-mannered Vermont innkeeper surrounded by bizarre characters in Newhart. Newhart's last episode is credited with being one of the funniest finales of all time, when Bob wakes up and realizes the show was all a dream and finds himself back in bed with Suzanne from the Bob Newhart Show. Bob said his real-life wife, Ginny, came up with the idea. She passed away last year. The two had been married for 60 years. And who can forget Bob playing Papa Elf in the Christmas classic Elf? My children love that movie. They love him. And then as Sheldon's hero, Professor Proton on The Big Bang Theory. That role won Bob his one and only Emmy, which is surprising. Yeah. His longtime friend, Carol Burnett, said he was as kind as he was funny. And Judd Apatow, who did a documentary about the friendship between Bob and Don Rickles, said Bob made the world a better place for a really long time. Now, I know, Al, you as a comic, you know all about Bob Newhart. I mean, we all do, but you've really taken deep dives into him as a comic. Tell us about how so many people found his deadpan funny.
Well, I mean, if you think about really the history of late night television, for as much as those shows have launched stars, Johnny Carson's show probably more than anything, if you got invited to the couch after your set, by the time your rear end hit that couch, you were a rich person.
Wow.
You could now sell out.
That's exactly right.
Theaters.
If you chose you to
famous,
sit down,
that walk
that's right.
is what everybody wanted. And if Johnny called you over, it was a big deal. Now, why would that be? Because you're the comic being interviewed by the host. It's because the host is the most famous person, even though they're the ones not really necessarily making the jokes. For whatever reason, people identify with serious people in non-serious situations, and that's what the comedic straight person is, and what a really great one. So when you talk about whether it's Johnny Carson or David Letterman, John Oliver, who came from Jon Stewart, Jon Stewart launched everybody. It's such an important role in comedy. For as much as we all love Will Ferrell, there can't be two Will Ferrells on screen.
Do you think Bob Newhart was the pioneer of that? Or at least put it on the
He's
mainstream?
the king of deadpan.
Right.
He is
Yes.
the king. And he had a famous stammer where he's like, maybe. And he said, the stammer got me a home in Beverly Hills, so I'm never going to change the stammer. But if you want to see his deadpan, I want you to take a look at this. This is the Emmys 5 years ago with Ben Stiller, talking about legends of the comedy world. Take a look.
People like George Burns and the wholesome genius of Bob Newhart.
I'm still alive.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
This legend is going to kick your That way you'll know I'm alive.
I thought you didn't curse.
You thought I was dead.
So anyway, that's the kind of thing he gets, and I think everybody will tell you, from Jane Fonda today down to Carol Burnett to anyone who's worked with him, the kindest man.
Yeah.
That makes a difference in that.
It does, and that gives you longevity, in my opinion, in this industry. So
Really quickly, who are you guys' favorite late night hosts?
of all time?
Yeah, so you're Conan.
Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart. You Conan.
Oh,
Who would you watch?
Oof.
Arsenio Hall.
Oh, that's really good.
Very good.
I think I was always Letterman. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
What about you?
I think I'd probably go with Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
I just think his
Same.
monologues
Brilliant.
just changed the
Yep.
game.
Yeah, Daily Show is
yes.
different. Yeah.
All right, so first and foremost, I just want to wish Bob Newhart's family all of our love, and may he rest in peace.
What a life.
legend. What a life. Okay, Brad Pitt Is he changing his smelly ways?
This really bums me out, y'all.
This week, there is a report that Brad's girlfriend, Inez, has been a positive influence on his personal hygiene. He allegedly would go days without bathing, but now keeps himself clean for her. Meantime, Kate Hudson dished on Matthew McConaughey's odor on the set of Fool's Gold on a recent episode of Watch What Happens Live. Take a look.
Was that old urban legend true that you forced Matthew McConaughey to wear deodorant while filming Fool's Gold?
No.
No.
No, he doesn't wear deodorant.
Right.
And by the way, I don't either. My thing is that I could smell him from, you know.
Right, across the
because I
hall.
got so, we were
Matthew's
so close.
here. Yes.
Yeah, you know, he's an we're au naturals,
I love
you know.
that.
Erica,
No.
your face. Go for it, girl.
No,
Okay, girl.
No. First of all, I automatically cannot, it's not even just the smell, it's the amount of Delulu. When you stink, you know. And you know
You think
who
they
else
know?
knows? Everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else. And to gaslight people's senses as if we don't smell you and you didn't smell your funky butt in the car.
Erica!
Is just next level. It's also the purest form of privilege.
I was gonna say that.
Like you
Speak
think,
it, yes.
Because it's like people who will go to a super nice restaurant. These are restaurants where people go for milestone birthdays, anniversaries, reunions of families, and you bring your butt in wearing some shorts and flip-flops and a backwards baseball cap and like, oh, well, I can afford to eat here. It doesn't matter what I look like. It's about having respect for the environment and the people around you. So these men who have so much money and so much fame and so many privileges, just going around not getting dressed for nothing, not putting any deodorant on, it's just nasty. It's nasty, it's privilege, and y'all gaslighting the rest of us. We know you stink.
I gotta
give that a round of applause because she's right.
I know. I want a band to be called the Funky Butts. That was great.
I think
There
Mark
was the
Wahlberg.
Funky Bunch.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg would have a problem with that.
Oh.
Yeah, so-
But that's true. I mean,
Could
you
be
are
a parody band of Mark Wahlberg and the Funky
right.
Bunch.
Do you think they don't know that they smell?
No, I think Erica's right. It's
Everybody
What if they?
knows.
What if
No,
no? Their
I don't-
scent.
I
Their
don't know if-
scent. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know if
deafness.
it's privilege. You know what I think it is?
No,
I think
it's
it's
privilege.
I think it's a power play. It shows everybody that
That's
you
privilege.
No, but that you run things. It is a way to show
Animalistic.
domination over the people in your workplace.
Yeah.
Like I am the
Over
person.
the people in your workplace,
Yes.
we all know, and we don't like it.
And they know you don't like it, but you have to take it because you need that check. It's a power play.
No, when you have good
that's what it
Erica's
is.
right. When you have good looks privilege, when you have money privilege, when you have fame privilege, they think that they're better than everybody else and they can walk in a room and
Brad
it don't
Pitt.
matter if they stink.
Why would you
But that's
wanna
the power.
smell?
That's the power of it. To
I
say
think they're
to-
intertwined.
To be like, I know that you want me so much, and I know you need me for this movie so badly. You guys are going to deal
Smell
with
me?
this funk. Yes, it's a
No.
very
No.
primal.
Butts.
I really
that's
think so.
intentional, very intentional. That's true, that's psychotic. Coming up on DBL, we are talking with a world championship kickboxer. Let me tell you, one of our best interviews. She talks about escaping a serial killer. She's sharing her remarkable story. Plus, Tyler Perry is being accused of stealing the idea behind his newest movie. Erica's breaking it all down and what Erica's watching.
Welcome back. Tyler Perry is caught up in controversy. Which celebrity has a shocking look-alike? And Jack Gay Harry dishes on 227. And this week's What Erica's Watching. After the release of Tyler Perry's latest movie, Divorce in the Black, starring Megan Good, people are calling out the famous filmmaker for a history of portraying black women in a negative light. That's because his new movie is another film about domestic violence. Yet, some of Tyler's fans argue that this is a reality for many black women. Well, other controversial buzz surrounds the movie, including people weighing in on Megan's relationship with defamed actor Jonathan Majors, who is found guilty of domestic assault. Plus, a woman claims that Tyler actually stole the idea for his movie from her book, An Enemy's Funeral.
We tired of you profiting off of us and stealing our ideas. I know you've been in my book. You've been in my book because I can name stuff from the time that funeral started to the time that funeral ended. I know you read my book when I sent it to you and you sent it back. I know you read it.
So, I guess if you're looking for a scandalous summer book, pick up a copy of An Enemy's Funeral and hide from the heat with this shady read. Tori Spelling is keeping it real on her podcast, and people are talking about a recent candid confession. Well, Tori agrees with the undefeated internet's take on her surprising celebrity look-alike, Wendy Williams. Tori loves the unreal yet spot-on comparison to the former talk show host.
I actually think Wendy Williams is very pretty. Like, I feel like commenting on that, like you'll never be able to unsee it. It's one of those things that once that comment was made, I was like, huh? And then I looked and I was like, oh, can't unsee that.
Well, Tori is right. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. So how you doing, Tori? Although 227 is the stoop that served us Jack Gay's iconic character, Sandra Clark, Jack Gay has no plans to revisit it. Well, here's the tea. Jack Gay recently shared all of the shade she experienced on the set during an interview and spilled the tea on the unwelcoming attitudes from her seasoned co-stars Marla Gibbs, aka Mary, and Pearl, played by Helen Martin. Take a look.
She was mean to me. Really? But she leaned out the window one day, we were doing the thing, and I was doing my thing, and we had a little lull in the action, a little 5-minute break. She leaned out the window. She said, you think you the star of this, don't you? I turned around. I said, yeah, you old I am. That's about 3 years in. That's when I knew I had made it. Because I was like, you don't talk to me any old damn way. She went, well.
There's no place like home.
Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag #DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Fredia Gibbs has been nicknamed the most dangerous woman in the world. But before that title, she was nearly the victim of a prolific serial killer in LA. Earlier, we talked with her all about her experience and how she was able to move forward. Take a look.
The girls had invited me to a domino game. Lonnie kept giving me drinks left and forth. I kept declining them. I remember taking a little sip, and I suddenly became really tired. I went onto the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom throwing water on my face, just throwing water on my face. As soon as I came out of the bathroom, Lonnie was there. Lonnie was like, look, I'll take you home. I was reluctant, but I wanted to go home. When I got into the passenger side, he shut the door. I heard the lock, and it was not the way that I heard a lock, and it was loud. When I sat down, I just said, Lord, please don't let me have this dude up. I'm reaching for the knob like, ready to jump out of here, you know? And there was no knob. Suddenly we stopped, and he's like, let me and I'll take you home. I said, no, man, let me out this van. He had a belt on his fist, and he wanted to punch me in my face, and what I did, I blocked it real fast, and I hit him, and I ran to the back of the van. When I ran to the back, there was this big chain on it and a lock. I was like, ah.
I have chills. To tell us more about how she escaped, please welcome Fredia to DBL. Thank you for being here. Wow.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much for having me, definitely.
Wow.
That was the best tease to an interview we've
ever had. Ever. Fredia, we are so glad you are sitting in front of us right now. I hate to bring you back to this moment, but if you could, it might help save lives. After you realized you were trapped in the van, you realized, I got to fight. What was going through your head, and how did you eventually get away?
What was going through my head, I knew I had to get the key. I knew I had to get the key, and there was only way out, and he had the key. Oh. That's what was going through my head. So once he let my wrist go, because he was on top, Lonnie was on top of me, and I was looking at him directly in his eyes, I got my back up against the van, and I started throwing jabs and chopping his legs with Muay Thai kicks. And I just started jab, crossing, just chopping his legs and moving left and right, left and right. Eventually, I saw fear in his eyes. And when he said, oh, so you one of those fighting chicks. And then at that time, he came running at me like a football player and trying to tackle me. And when he tried to tackle me, I grabbed the end of his shirt tail and I tied it up real fast and I swung him down. Then I ran down and grabbed his pants and pulled him over his shoes. I stepped on his chest and I grabbed his, and then that's when he started yelling, ah. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And I was like, oh, so now you want me to get out. So I went ahead and ripped him up again, and I asked him where the keys at. I went in his pockets. I grabbed the keys. There was a bunch of keys on the chain circle there. I asked him which one. He said it was the orange one. I pulled him and the keys all the way over to the lock. I unlocked the lock. I ripped the chain off. I kicked the doors open, and I said a couple things to him. I said, if ever you see me on the streets again, what are you going to say? And he said, hi, and I ripped him up real fast. I said, no, you're not. You're going to go the opposite direction. And then, he was yelling, get out, get out, get out. And I said, one more thing. He was, listen. One more thing. When a bee says no, she says no, and that's when I hit him, boom, and I went ahead and jumped out the van, and I went right into a bunch of fog. A lot. It was like I was in fog land.
And weren't you under? He drugged your drink. How did you do this? Like
training, I'm sure.
I know her training, but also with a substance involved. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he did. He did. Wow. I felt it immediately, the drug. I felt it immediately because I know that I don't drink. I don't do drugs or anything like that. And he definitely drugged me. There's no doubt about that.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Bravo.
Well, your attacker was later arrested and convicted as a serial killer. So where were you when you found out who Lonnie really was?
I was actually coming home from the gym. And I dropped my bag down, got me some water, grabbed the remote, flipped on the television, and Lonnie's face was right there. I freaked out. I just freaked out. I grabbed the phone real fast. I called my mom. I was like, oh my God, the guy that tried to rape me 15 years ago in the van, he's a serial killer. He killed over 100 black women. Oh my God. My mom was like, as long as they caught him.
You won your first world title months after this attack. So, again, congratulations for that. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. How did your training help you heal?
The training was like, it was a major transformation for me. It was like I was in heaven because I was actually an emotional wreck. I was traumatized. I was very reluctant to return back to California. Actually, I was never returning back to California again. That was the only reason why I returned back, but the training was unbelievable. Saxon Janjir, he in Thailand, he's like Tom Brady here in America. So I was very fortunate to have a phenomenal fight camp. He insisted that I meet him at UCLA, and we trained at UCLA starting at 4:30 in the morning, 6 days a week. And it was a training. It was a training that I can't. It was mesmerizing. I knew that I was going to win. I could feel it spiritually, mentally, emotionally, in every way. I knew I was going to win.
Oh my God.
The training was phenomenal.
Freedia, thank you for sharing your incredible story with us. TBL Nation, we barely scratched the surface of her life story. So if you want to learn more about the most dangerous woman in the world, check it out right there. That's her Instagram. Give her a follow. Thank you again. We are all in awe. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you.
Welcome back. More doctors are now using AI chatbots to draft letters to insurance companies. It makes the fight to approve costly claims much quicker, doing what years of advocacy could not do in just minutes. That's crazy. Some experts also say that AI can make shopping for health insurance less painful. You've been using a lot of AI.
Yes, I have. And, you know, there are different types of tones for different kinds of letters.
Yes.
And sometimes you do want a professional tone. I'm a goofy comic, you know, and especially the formal English, maybe for you, Tor, not my thing. So I'll just literally
tell. You're one of the most cerebral people I know.
But not professionally. I'll just after my second sentence, my anger will come through. I'll be like, let me tell you another thing.
Although Al uses words I have to later, I shake my head and then I later look up.
What I mean.
So if you're looking for health care coverage, Better Benefits can help. Many Americans already on Medicare may not have a plan with all the benefits accessible to them. So reach out to Medicare Advantage advisors today. The benefits review is free. Call 800-329-5031. Woo, good show today. Happy Friday.
Yeah, feels good. I might be going to a concert tonight at the Red Rocks.
Oh, you want everyone to show up? Is that what you're doing?
If you see me, don't be afraid to say you recognize me.
And you love you.
And that you enjoy me and I'm your favorite. Okay? Big shout out to Michelle at Billy Joel.
Oh, DBL is new every day. We will be back Monday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there. Bye.